Right, people. For a little bit of contrast here, we're going to do positive path found on the law of one. We just did negative path. Now we're going to do positive path. Right, questions. While an entity is incarnate in this third density at this time, he may either learn without consciously knowing what he is doing, or he may learn after he is consciously aware. First of all, we're always conscious, even if we're subconscious or not conscious. By the way, if you want to look at it from a different perspective, look at it from that perspective, right? Or he may learn after he is consciously aware that he is learning in the ways of the law of one. That's what we're here to learn. We're here to learn the law of one and unity consciousness. The second way, it is possible for the entity to greatly accelerate his growth. Is this not correct? Well, it is actually correct. It's a choice as to whether you want to accelerate or not on your spiritual path. It is a choice. It also comes down to knowledge that you have as well, and that happens through experience. If you're ignorant and don't have if you're living in it also comes to you through other people as well, basically. So it's fate and it's choice. It's two things, all right? Fate you can't control. Right. This is correct. Yes, it is. It is correct. That's all they said for that question. Then, although many entities are not aware of this, what they really desire is to accelerate their growth, and it is their job, however, right. If your purpose here is to be a motivational speaker, if your purpose here is to be a healer, if you're here for big things, you're going to be what would I say? Like a cat with 9 lives. You're going to be resilient. You'll be a very resilient soul. That will be part of your DNA makeup, right? And you're just going to be here with an innate desire for purpose, right? And you're going to be like a trailblazer. That's going to be your energy. And so you're going to be someone that wants to learn, that's hungry, basically, for wisdom. And so different people are here for different things. But it's also, you will know what resonates with your own soul. You know, if you're not interested in this, you're not going to be here watching it, are you? You're going to be off doing some other purpose that's not sitting here watching me. So, right. Although many entities are not aware of this, what they really desire is to accelerate their growth, and that it is their job to discover this while incarnate. Yes, it is. Your spirit guides will lead you to that path. You will inherently want to be doing this sort of work, and you will want to grow because you just have ants in your pants all the time. Is it correct that they can accelerate their growth much more while incarnate in the third density than in between incarnations of this density? Well, there's no such thing as time, which means all incarnations are occurring actually at once. But that's sort of also, time is also linear in that framework as well. Yes. Yeah, growth is accelerated in the physical density more than between lifetimes because it's easier. When you're in heaven, it's easier. This is where you get the growth here in an incarnation because of the density. And that's why that's where other people are focused. People in the spirit realms are focused here because this is where all the action is happening. This is where you get the duality, and that's why this here is meaningful, and this is where you actually get the spiritual growth. So that's why life experiences are important. But let's read the answer. This is correct. We shall attempt to speak upon this concept. The law of one has as one of its primal distortions the free will distortion. Which is more evident here because there's that darkness and light duo. Thus, each entity is free to accept, reject, or ignore the mind-body-spirit complexes about it and ignore the creation itself. There are many among your social memory complex distortion who, At this time space, that's because there's the veil here, people, the social memory complex distortion, because we know this reality in this incarnation with all the other memory wiped. So that's what we've got here, which is good because we don't, that's why we're here, because we don't need the other memory of all the other stuff. You get bogged down with it. So that's why we're here with limited knowledge and limited memory, and that's why God doesn't even like me having all the answers. But I learn the answers through helping people. So there you go. And I get what I need to know through helping people. So at this time space, engage daily. Sorry, I'll read that again. There are many among your social memory complex distortion who at this time space engage daily, as you would put it, in working upon the law of one in one of its primal distortions, because we're primal incarnate beings. That is the ways of love. So that's what we're here to learn. And the law of one is acceptance. Love is, but it enhances love because it enlightens you, basically. So yeah. However, if this same entity, being biased from the depths of its mind, body, spirit complex towards love and light, love is, were then to accept responsibility for each moment of the time-space accumulation of present moments available to it. Yes. What we're here in this incarnation is a series of collective, accumulative time, accumulative present moments, because this is always the present moment, right? So this is a time-space accumulation of present moments in our lifetime. That's what it is. That's what the illusion of time is. It's an accumulation of present moments. Right, but then to accept responsibility for each moment of the time-space accumulation of present moments available to it, such an entity can empower its progress in much the same way as we described the empowering of the call of your social complex distortion to the Confederation. The Confederation is one thing I haven't looked into, so we will explore this topic another day. Taking responsibility is absolutely something that will accelerate your growth. That was a theme of that that thing there that we looked into. It does empower it does empower your call of social complex distortion. Absolutely. Accountability and responsibility, it does. It makes you a more independent soul. And that in itself will accelerate. The more independent you get as a soul, the more your growth is accelerated. I will say that, because you're with others, but you're not dependent on other people. You're independent, helping other people to be independent. That's the best form of life experience you can have for your growth. Next. Would you state in a little different way how you empower this call? All right. So this is a different angle they're asking the questioner to answer the question. We understand you to speak now of our previous information. The call begins with 1. This call is equal to infinity and is not. Absolutely it is. And is not, as you would say, counted. Yes, because counting is separation. That defeats the purpose of 1. It is the cornerstone. The second call is added. All right. The third call empowers or doubles the second, and so forth. Each additional caller doubling or granting power to all the preceding call. Yes, because it's a ripple effect. So if you help people by empowering the added, which is the second call, the third call empowers or doubles the second addition, which is the other person, right? So you're helping them, and you're going to raise in vibration, and it's going to have a ripple effect. So this is a fancy way of saying that. So the third call empowers or doubles the second and so forth, each additional caller doubling or granting power to all the preceding call, ripple effect. Thus, the call of many of your peoples is many, many powered and overwhelmingly heard to the infinite reaches of the one creation. So that's really exciting. Yeah, and I'm getting more intuitive and I'm hearing the collective through being in this state of ripple effect of my information going out there. So God's basically granted me power by having knowledge to basically counter what is going out there from what I'm telling you. So this is just fantastic. Right. Let's do one more question about positive path. This is all about positive path. This is what it's about. Yesterday you stated the harvest is now. It's always happening now. There's a whole chapter on harvest here, but it's always happening now. There is not at this time any reason to include efforts upon these distortions towards longevity. It is a distortion. Longevity is a distortion because it's time. That's why it's a distortion. The more enlightened we get, our DNA changes and we get more aligned with being present. And so the longevity density will actually get less dense. And so our biological age will increase, right? But rather to encourage distortions towards the heart of self. Yeah, because each distortion we experience leads us back to our heart because it gets us back in the platform. When we're out at a platform, it's like a trampoline springboard. I've talked about this concept before, or the cork just going up to the water, right? But we have to also seek it ourselves. We can't. Some people actually are depressed their whole lives, but that's also because their soul isn't calling them to get healed as well. So that their purpose sometimes is to it's choice, but it's also there's a lot of what that all doesn't matter. What matters is what's in your control and what you choose that you want. That's what matters, right? Let's get back on topic because I do deviate and go off a little bit. For this which resides clearly in the violet ray energy field is actually your crown chakra. Some people call it white or gold, but it's actually violet. So, for this which resides clearly in the violet ray energy field will determine the harvest of each mind body spirit complex. Absolutely, the harvest. So, what good can you give to people, right? That's your crown chakra. That's your universal connection. That will determine your harvest or your worth, basically your true worth in this world. Could you tell that vibrationally speaking, I'm talking about here, and that's really what matters. That defeats all distortions. That defeats all greed. That's the true. That's what you're looking for. That's the void that people are looking for. Could you tell us how to seek, or the best way to seek the heart of self? This will be really interesting. This is what the question is asking. We have given you this information in several wordings. However, we can only say the material for your understanding is the self. By the way, no, I won't go back to that. Yes, your own wisdom that you've actually, at the point in evolution that you're at, basically, from you. Your material for your understanding is the self, the mind body spirit complex, which you are. You have been given information upon healing as you call this distortion. This information may be seen, that's what I'm doing. I'm here giving you information, right, as a healer. This information may be seen in a more general context as ways to understand the self. Yes, it can be. That's exactly right. So it might not be specifically tailored to you, this video. It's more general, but then you will get light bulb moments, won't you? So it creates a framework for you to then decide your own amazing wisdom. And then you will get more independent, and that's actually your most optimal life pathway. The understanding, experiencing, accepting, and merging of self and with other self, and finally with the Creator, is the path to the heart of self. So, with more experience, excuse me. All right, people. So going back to this, right. The understanding, experiencing, accepting, and merging of self and other self, and finally the Creator, is the path to the heart of self. In each infinitesimal part of yourself resides in the one of all of its power. In each infinitesimal part of yourself resides the one and all of its power. Yes. Therefore, we can only encourage these lines of contemplation, always stating the prerequisite of meditation, contemplation, or prayer as a means of subjectively/objectively using or combining various understandings to enhance the seeking process. Absolutely. It's a comprehensive approach. So that's what I've always said. Meditation, contemplation or wisdom seeking, and like putting the pieces together in your mind, and prayer as a means of subjectively or objectively using or combining various understandings, so it enhances your comprehension to have different frames of reference or baselines to understand the seeking process. It helps you put all the pieces together in your mind about understanding, right? Without such a method of reversing the analytical process, one could not integrate into unity the many understandings gained in such a seeking. Absolutely. Because you're looking at different sides of the diamond to give you that full, that well-rounded perspective or comprehension. And it helps you understand more. Like, I think that makes sense. So, help people and you will further understand concepts as well. More? We would do main freight people and you will be confident and confident, they said at the same time right now. Okay, right, let's keep going. Thank you. I have a question here from Jim that I will read verbatim. Much of the mystic tradition of seeking on earth holds that belief that the individual... Sorry? Yeah, that's the end of this one. They said stop right there, you know that that's the end.